Paulie here on the Latino Slant. Every video, I always tell you to please comment. Let me know your thoughts, and you often do. And just so you know, we are not an echo chamber, and in this YouTube landia, I want to read some comments that didn't agree with me in regards to this new iteration of Namor in the movie Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And I think it's really important because I love the passion that is being displayed on these comments. And I just want to just state again that the Latino Slant is here just for you guys for that great reason. So in the video response, there's two of them, two of many comments, two comments that I want to point out and talk about in regards to my video, in that I said, to surmise it, I look forward to a day where Latino entertainment or any movies that have a Latino lead or major storyline, that the default settings are not that of representation, pain of my people, inclusion, diversity, being seen. It just is like in the real world, and it's pretty amazing. So I still stand by that now more than ever, and I look forward to your comments on this, you know, on this reply to your comments. So let's bring up the first one from Clement Mackenzie. Fine, look forward to that day, but we are not living in that day today, not even in Latin America. Today, diversity and inclusion is the road we travel to get to that day. I'm not here for the Theo Tomas bull. As a black man of indigenous American ancestry, this is a big deal for me. Some of this stuff is just silly. Namor has never been white. At any time in his publication history, he's half white, say Obama. So if he's half white, so is Obama. Half white in our world means you are not white. Secondly, Atlantis is not a Greek myth. It's an Egyptian myth about people who are not Egyptian. So if there wasn't an Atlantis, we have no idea where it was or who they were, so the Yucatan is as good as anywhere else. The theory that Atlantis in Mesoamerica is not new, it's been around since Columbus. Race swapping is about the only way to inject indigenous Americans into this world because there aren't any in the pages of Marvel Comics. Bless Kugler for making a way for us to be included. Who cares if inclusion and diversity makes you uncomfortable? We need a path. We are 2 years from the government displacing our children in cages like animals, a president claiming we're criminals and rapists. We need a positive path. We need this. I need my son to be as proud of his indigenous ancestry as he is of his African ancestry. Okay, I really appreciate this comment. So this is a fantastic comment. Thank you, Clement, for leaving it. And let's talk. So a couple of things in regards to today being the road of diversity and inclusion is the one that we have to travel on. I disagree. I definitely disagree. I think more inventive and creative films are being done on an indie level here in this country that have Latino stories, Latino leads, that we should just pay more attention to. And that what we need to do is get the attention also of TV execs, studio execs, to hire these Latino writers and directors. So that's my thought on there. Um, you said nowhere Namor before has ever been white in his publication. He is half human, and his father in the comic book iteration is a Mackenzie, who I believe is a fisherman. I don't know anything more beyond the ethnic background of Mackenzie. But what I also do know is that Namor just hated all surface dwellers, and at one time wanted to wage war on the white man. So that's in those pages. So you're I just wanted to point that out as you're making your argument, and then you go on to talk about Obama's ancestry. Now, you talk about the Greek myth that Atlantis is not a Greek myth. In the comic book, it is. In the comic origin of Namor, they have made it a Greek origin. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Now, what you're talking about is historically this mythical place, being in different areas, and you're absolutely correct. And you're absolutely correct. It has been theorized that a Mayan or a Toltec origin also too can be heard of about in regards to Atlantis. So I'm not going to really argue there. I see where you're coming from. And then finally, you say the story Mesoamerica now. Okay, yeah, so I'm with you there. Race swapping is about the only way to inject indigenous Americans into the world because there aren't any in the pages of Marvel Comics. They actually are. There actually has been. You're talking about Marvel Comics? There has been Latino superheroes for decades. And there's been a Puerto Rican one, and if I remember, he's pretty, a dark tone as far as in fighting crime in New York. Put together a comic book panel, and they are going to present a list of all the Latino comic book heroes that ever existed in the MCU, and I think you're going to be really nicely surprised. Okay, so bless Kugler for making this a way to be clear. I don't argue. I think it's great. I think what Kugler and his vision is trying to do is pretty big. I don't know if it's going to succeed, but I'm going to be there first day to check it out. Who cares if inclusion and diversity makes you uncomfortable? It doesn't make me uncomfortable. I want you to understand this, and I want you to separate emotion from what you see on screen. I'm talking about how Hollywood and the people behind the scenes work, that they don't care on a three-dimensional and fully fleshed out level of characters of Latino stories about diversity and inclusion. They just care how it makes them look. Then you go into some things that I really don't want to point out. That is your opinion. You say my son needs to be proud of his indigenous ancestry as he is of his African ancestry. And I would say this, judging from your comments, it seems that he's got one. He's got a superhero. That's you. And that's where it should always begin, is with the heroes that are within our families, within our communities, our educators, and loved ones. That's where it's got. We cannot rely, as powerful as media is, we cannot rely on Hollywood to be heroes for our children. It's got to be us. I understand what you're saying. I really do. But that can't be the be all and end all. So thank you, Clement, for that. That was awesome. And we have another comment from Fernando Rodriguez, who chimes in and says, it really doesn't matter what connections they make with the Conquest and Cortez. That the Noche Huerta NAMOR action figures are already in stores, and young kids and adults are going to love this new version of Bill Everett's 1939 creation. The fact that we now have a Mexican superhero is beyond any dissecting everything about him or the film by so many know-it-alls. The Black Panther film grossed $1.3 billion from its $200 million budget, and that's what Disney expects from this one. God forbid they didn't make Namor Aztec, because then all you know-it-alls wouldn't have anything to overly critique and try to bring down. I'm psyched to see the film and later own the DVD and the Noche Huerta action figure. And don't worry, the Blue Beetle DC Comics films debuts January 2023, so you can tear that one down too. And then there's Marvel's El Muerto, wrestler with magic mask set for 2024, and you can all bash that one too, while millions of others enjoy Mexican Latino superhero representation at last. Thank you so much, Fernando. So let's break this down as far as your comments here. You said it doesn't matter what connections we make. That's fine. That is your opinion. I think the connection with the Conquest and Cortez is being made because that is now in the story. And now let's give you guys a little bit of Namor news. It is confirmed by Tenoch Huerta in his interviews that Namor in this film and in this MCU history, universe is at least 500 years old. So he is going to be there at the the conquest, the old world and the new world bashing heads. So he's going to be right there. So this was already done. This is not something that I made up. This is part of Kugler's vision, and I am happy to critique it and talk about it as a lover of Mesoamerican history and as a Chicano whose bloodline goes back to Mexico. So I feel it's right up the Latino Slant's alley. Now you talk about the action figures, and hey, you know what? You're absolutely right. Kids that love to play with action figures, it's cool. I might even buy one. I think that's you know, that is just an added an added plus. The fact that now we now have a Mexican superhero is beyond any dissecting. Well, no, nothing's beyond dissecting, my friend. Anything that people put out, any entertainment, a book, a film, a song, a poem, there's always going to be the critic. And I'm not a paid critic, man. Everything that I watch and digest, I pay for. So, this, at the end of the day, it's my opinion, but I'm fully entitled to my opinion, as you are to yours. Okay, yeah, it made a lot of money, and that's what Disney expects. I'm wondering if it's gonna make that. I wonder if it's gonna match it. So you kind of double down on your critiques that we're know-it-alls. I'm just giving you my knowledge as a person who's done a lot of studying and minored in Chicano studies, but that's just me. Um, you're psyched to own it. Okay, and then you talk about the Blue Beetle coming out in January 2023. It's actually coming out in August of 2023, and that we can tear it down. That one down is two. Well, Fernando, I don't know if you watch our channel, but I think you should check out some of our playlists because all we do is talk about new developing Latino movies and television shows once we hear about them. And it's not, whether our opinion evolves over time as we get information, we're always excited to talk about it, as we have when the Blue Beetle was announced. When it was announced that they were going to have a Latino director, I literally willed it into existence that they need to hire Xolo Maridueña as Jaime Reyes. I'm so excited, and we've been doing coverage on the Blue Beetle since then. And yeah, so I would suggest you check out our playlist. How about that? El Muertos wrestler mask for 2024, starring Bad Bunny. Listen, Bad Bunny is slowly winning me over as a movie star who has presence. Can he carry off a lead film? I don't know. Does that make me a hater, or I don't know what? No, it just makes me. I just have a doubt. Will I check it out? Yeah. Will I give it its money? Give it my money? Yes, it's my money. So then I can give my opinion on this channel. You can bash all that you want, while millions of others enjoy Mexican Latino superhero representation at last. Well, there's been Mexican Latino superhero representation for a while, and we're gonna get you that comic book playlist. So another thing I wanted to point out is that Fernando had thought that his comment was deleted, and he wrote back saying, "Oh, you're deleting my comment? What's up with that?" And I said, "Listen, if it happened and it's on YouTube's guidelines, not mine." And I gave you my email to email me this, but I found your comment, and this is why it's up here. And let me say this: besides, someone being just overtly rude and unpleasant, I reply to every comment. All right, everybody, that is all we have. I think it's really cool. Now the dust will be settled, as the next NAMOR edition I will have is an out of the theater reaction. I will be going to on day one. Take care, everybody. Thank you for your comments. Keep them strong wherever you're at. Keep that slant muy fuerte. Y muchísimas gracias. All right, guys. Peace. thank you to all who have donated, who are gonna donate. Hit the super thanks and enjoy the video.